YouTube, what is going on? Today we are bringing you guys the head start to MW3 with the beta coming out today. We have the Coach Crowder tips. We're starting now. We're starting early. Let's get into it. Okay, so you guys know that this is just the beta, and there is a world where they do change all the movement up in the beta. They did that last year. I don't think they're doing that again. So that being said, and us having some optimism, I'm going to teach you guys just some of the basic things that probably aren't going to change from the beta to the real game that you guys can get a head start and obviously enjoy the release of the new game a little bit better. With that being said, the first thing that we're going into is the slide cancel. Now, in older games, it used to be like slide, jump like that, slide, jump like that, right? That is pretty easy. All you do is hit your slide button again to stop the slide and then jump. So it's slide, jump, and that's the slide cancel. Now, they made it even easier in this version of MW3. So instead of doing it the more complicated way, you can actually do the slide cancel this way, which is just slide, jump. And this, all you have to do is two buttons. Slide, jump. There's no slide thing. There's no crazy combination. Very, very simple and very effective, obviously, when you're approaching your opponents to get into a gunfight. Now, that being the most important mechanic, you're always going to be wanting to slide cancel corners and stuff to break cameras and all that stuff, and we'll go way more in depth when the game releases. But that is not the only mechanic you can use in gunfights in this game. And what I mean by that is you can also do the slide to the drop shot. So some people like to do the full slide, which just looks like this. And then you can obviously challenge like that, right? That's no slide cancel. You're just doing the full slide. That's kind of a bad way to engage fights sometimes because like you come to a full stop and then like once you're in that full stop, you're basically an easy target, especially because you're not dropping. And if you do it while you want to try and drop shot, it looks something like this. Boom. And it's a very slow way to kind of go within that drop shot. Now, this is going to look a little similar, but the animation is actually a better way to peek corners. And it's definitely... One second. It's definitely a better way to peek corners. It's going to look like this. So you're going to slide and then stop your slide and lay down like that. Now, obviously, you're going to want to time it up when you're getting towards the angle that you're at, but you don't have to finish your full slide. You can actually do a slide cancel and drop shot instead of jumping out of it. So it looks like a slide, and then hold. And that's something where like you're going to turn the corner and instead of coming to a full stop and just being crouched or just being like sitting here, like standing up with just a bigger target, drop shotting will actually take your body under their aim. So when you're turning the corner, you're actually laying down as well. And you're going to be breaking the camera and laying down, and that's a really good way to turn corners sometimes, especially when you know someone's obviously like expecting that you're going to be coming from that angle. So yeah, it's very, very simple. Again, slide, and then hold, and you drop like that. It's a much better way to turn corners as well. Sometimes it's just a little bit different of a way too, especially if the people that you're playing against know how you play. Probably not going to happen for a lot of you guys, but you never know. It could come in handy. Try it out. Maybe that's a mechanic that you like a little bit more sometimes. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about in the beta, and this can definitely change going into the new game, of course, it can make jumping better, is usually in MW2, especially if you just started in Modern Warfare 2, jumping was a really good mechanic like that. That's kind of the best mechanic we had was jumping and snaking. We have snaking, which I'm going to go over in a second, but jumping corners in this game isn't terrible, and it's definitely something you can do where if you know he's in a corner, you can jump it right there, but you can see how like kind of long it takes to actually start shooting and doing all that stuff, where the slide is a lot more fast and you're obviously moving, you have that strafe, you're coming out of that slide to a strafe. So jumping corners isn't the best thing to do in this game. It's something where if you have them really weak, maybe you just want to quickly jump the corner, get a kill, or you want to just, jump this corner and just get something that to catch them off guard. But honestly, you kind of want to try to avoid that as much as you can and really use your slide cancel. So the jumping mechanic in this is just not that great. The only time I've found it great so far is when you're in a gunfight like this and like you're going back and forth and then you jump like once. That's about it. They took the bunny hop out of the game, so don't try and bunny hop. Try not to jump as much. Try and get yourself in the rhythm of doing that slide and challenging the corners that way. Of course, you can change it up here and there. I'm getting shot left and right. Now, the last mechanic is the snake. Now, if you played Modern Warfare 2 or watched the CDL at all, or Warzone, you know exactly what that is. That is when your character is going up and down just like that. All you have to do is lay down, and as you lay down, you sprint out of it. So it's lie down, sprint, lie down, sprint, lie down, sprint. And that's going to look really, really hard for them to shoot you off of head glitches. So instead of just holding something like this when someone's peeking you, if they know when you're there, they might slide cancel that corner and obviously catch you off guard. You could be snaking like this to make sure that you're constantly having cover. You can constantly get information. They can barely see you when you do this animation. And when you do it, it's going to help you out a lot because as well as that, you have some time to obviously center your aim, get ready for the gunfight, and then boom. So that is the last mechanic right there. I had to do it again, is lie down and sprint out of it. Lie down and sprint out of it. A good setting to turn on for this is automatical tactical sprint. That is a very good setting to do. So when you're lying down, you can just obviously hold your left stick forward and you sprint out of it. So lie down, sprint. Lie down, sprint, just like that. So really quickly, I'm going to go over everything that I just went with you guys. First mechanic that I was going over is the slide cancel. In this game, all you have to know is slide, jump. Slide, jump. They made it much easier for you to be able to actually do the slide cancel. And it just looks like this. Slide, jump, aim. Slide, jump, aim. Slide, jump, aim. Very, very simple. Next mechanic that I was showing you guys is the slide to the lie down. So all you're going to do is slide again, and hold. So when you're turning corners, sometimes you want to slide again, and hold. It's not the best mechanic. I definitely think the slide cancel is a little better, but it's some way to turn a corner that's going to help you a lot instead of just doing one long slide. So if you want to do that, it's slide, boom, and then slide, boom. And then last mechanic that we just taught you guys is the snake. All you have to do again is lie down, sprint out of it, and then do it really quickly. Lie down, sprint out of it. If you time it, you're going to get this kind of animation. And this is really good to obviously hold your head glitches and play these head glitches while people are pushing you, especially in multiplayer. It's very, very effective tactic. And one last new one that honestly I have not used enough to give you guys a fair recommendation to use yet, but I'm going to test it out. And obviously when the game comes out, I'll give you a way more in-depth version of this video, is you can actually slide and aim in at the same time right now. And it looks like that. I'm not too sure if that's the best mechanic you really want to use while you're playing this game yet. We'll kind of figure it out pretty soon. Definitely want to experiment with that a little bit more, talk to some pros and figure out if it's actually worth using or not, or if you really want to avoid doing that and just do the slide cancel. So we're going to get back to that, but yes, you can also slide, aim in, and it looks like that. Not my favorite thing yet. It could just because I'm not familiar with it. We'll kind of get to it and see. And really quick, just for a bonus in this video, if you guys are still watching, I'm going to run quickly through these settings, not explain too much considering this is just a beta and these can be subject to change when the new game does come out. I'll come out with a very in-depth video of the best FPS and all that stuff. But for now, I'm going to give you guys the best settings for the beta. Really quick, we're just going to start with these controller settings. This is my controller settings right here. I do play on tactical. I do not play flipped. Bumper pings and all that stuff I don't play with. And everything else, these are my dead zone. This is subject to controller. Again, much more in-depth video coming out when MW3 releases. Here's my aiming sensitivity, 10, 6. I times the 10 by 0.7, which gives me the, that 7 ADS, which is like left to right, which I like a lot. Again, we'll be explaining way more in depth in a different video, but these are just the basic settings. If I don't open up anything where it says show more, it's because I don't touch anything. It's all default. And then here is the gameplay settings for the controller. So it's this. I do play single tap to run, which isn't a big deal, but you want to make sure for the snaking animation, you want to have auto tactical sprint on. I actually need to turn that on myself for just myself in this game. I think it's helpful in this game, a little bit better than MW2. And then the rest is here. And then of course you have your graphics. This is by display settings. Nothing too crazy. Again, pretty easy stuff right now. I do not play on plus boost. I just play on. I've been seeing a lot of people play on plus boost. I mean, on instead of on plus boost. I don't think it really matters too much, but at the same time, that's something that right now I can't fully explain. I'll try and learn more about that for you guys, or if you have a comment below about it more. A lot of people have been playing with it without the boost, and that's just kind of what I've been rolling with. And these are my quality settings right here. All basically a lot of low stuff, a couple normals and highs, but nothing too crazy. And then this is my view settings. I play on 117. I'm a weirdo. Affected ADS, very important in my opinion, especially for visual recoil. With the gunplay in this game, I do think it is very important. And then of course you have the weapon field of view wide, motion blur turned off, no film grain. Very important with the camera movement. You want that as least as possible. Definitely not at 100%. Definitely at 50%. Very, very important stuff. And then there you go. So that is my settings. Those are the settings for Modern Warfare 3 beta. Those could definitely change. I'll come out with a much more in-depth to explain some of the aiming settings and other stuff. But as of now, that's it. As always, it's been your boy Crowder. I'm excited for the new game, pumping out content left and right. I love you guys. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys next one.